Electric vehicles are fast but boring to drive. That has been the consensus among driving enthusiasts ever since more and more EVs have flooded the market. They don't provide the same visceral exhilaration that a vehicle with an engine can deliver. But Hyundai thinks that they have made an electric vehicle that can bring some of the excitement of a gasoline-powered car into an EV. So has it worked with their new Ioniq 5N? As the name suggests, the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N is based on the brand's most popular EV. Just like the standard Ioniq 5, this N version utilizes two electric motors at each end of the car for an all-wheel drive system. On a day-to-day basis, this car feels and drives just like the regular Ioniq 5. It's quiet and smooth and just an overall easy EV to drive. But the power has been turned up to 11. The 2025 Ioniq 5N produces 601 horsepower and 545 pound-feet of torque. The car is on the heavy side just like many other EVs at just over 2.2 tons, but it can still accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in about 3.5 seconds. However, this car can provide a boost of 10 seconds to drop that 0 to 100 km an hour sprint down to 3.4 seconds. By pressing the red NGB button, that stands for N Grin Boost, the electric motors produce 641 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. Coupled with launch control, the Ioniq 5N sprints from a stop like a proper performance car. However, this doesn't really make the Ioniq 5N any different than other powerful EVs on the market like the BMW i5 M60. What does make this car different is when you select the NE Shift mode. Pressing one of the two customizable N buttons on the steering wheel turns on an engine, quote-unquote. Obviously, it's not a real engine and is instead noises that are being played through the stereo system. In this mode, the Ioniq 5N perfectly replicates the characteristics of an internal combustion engine and an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. Everything from the noises, torque curve, rev limiter, and gear changes are accurately replicated. For example, if you put your foot down in a high gear at low RPMs, the car doesn't accelerate very quickly. If you rev the engine right up to the red line, it cuts power. If you pull on the downshift paddle too quickly and too close to the red line, the car won't downshift. This system is so perfectly replicated to a gasoline-powered vehicle that if someone who doesn't know that the Ioniq 5N is an EV, they would think that it is powered by an engine. It's an impressive system which adds some of the excitement to an otherwise familiar EV. Of course, in this mode, the car is slower than if it was left in its normal EV mode without any of the fake gear shift or engine torque curve replications. Speaking of which, the car does have Eco, Normal, Sport, and NN Custom drive modes. Each changes the responsiveness of the electric motors and accelerator pedal, among other characteristics such as the suspension stiffness. The N Custom 1 and 2 modes allow the driver to set various parameters of the car to their liking. Each mode can be programmed to the two N steering wheel mounted buttons. The Ioniq 5N has an 84 kWh battery pack which Hyundai says will provide up to 356 kilometers of driving range. That number is a bit less than most other EVs, but for a performance car, I think it's okay. The battery can be preconditioned for track use. In the infotainment system, you can select drag or track. These modes ensure that the battery pack remains in the proper operating temperature for maximum power for the given conditions. The battery can also be set for endurance, which allows the car to drive on a track for longer periods. But of course, in this mode, maximum power is reduced. The battery is capable of being recharged at a rate of up to 350 kilowatts. Of course, these type of EV chargers are very rare, but if you do find one, it means that 10% to 80% can be achieved in as little as 18 minutes. From a more common 50 kilowatt charger, the battery can be replenished to the same state of charge in just over an hour. From a 10.9 kilowatt level 2 charger, 10% to 100% is completed in about 7.5 hours. With all the extra speed and performance that this car can achieve, it has bigger brakes to help it stop. The front 400mm discs are clamped down by 4 piston fixed calipers, and the rear 360mm discs have single piston floating calipers. In addition to the larger brakes, the 5N has different modes of regenerative braking. There are levels 0, 1, 2, 3, I-pedal, and auto. Level 0 doesn't provide any regen braking, while I-pedal is a one-pedal mode with the car stopping without needing to touch the brake pedal. Auto varies the regen force depending on whether there is a vehicle ahead of the car or not. As for the brake pedal itself and how it feels, it's normal. There's no real difference that can be felt between regenerative braking and the physical brakes taking over. The pedal is firm at all times and it doesn't move on its own like how it does in some other EVs. Another feature of the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N that makes it different from some other EVs are its handling dynamics. For a start, it has very quick steering. It's akin to a BMW M car with the front wheels immediately reacting to the smallest input of the steering wheel. In the N mode, the car feels rock solid and planted around corners. You can also control how the car behaves through corners. Using N torque distribution, the car can send more torque to the front, rear, or both axles equally. This will make the Ioniq 5N feel more like a front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive car when you're driving enthusiastically. There's also an N drift optimizer which, as the name implies, can send more torque to the rear wheels and allow the car to perform flawless drifts. Overall, this car has multiple personalities based on the settings that are activated. It can be an everyday normal EV, or it can pretend to be a gasoline-powered 600 horsepower hot hatch. The latter is what makes the 2025 Ioniq 5N a lot more exciting to drive on a backcountry road than any other EV that has come before it. With the standard equipped adaptive dampers, the Ioniq 5N has a comfortable ride over most city streets. The ride is a bit firmer when driving over rougher roads than the standard Ioniq 5, but overall, it's more than acceptable for daily commutes. With the dampers in N mode, the ride is very jarring and almost as though it's a race car. On the inside, the 5N receives sport bucket seats that are amazing. They may look uncomfortable at first glance, but they are far from it. Not only do the front seats keep you planted in them through fast corners, but they have just the right amount of padding. Sadly, they are not power operated, but they do have a pretty cool illuminated N logo. As for interior noises, the 5N can be as quiet as a traditional EV, or it can be as loud as something like the Hyundai Elantra N. When the car is driven like a normal EV, the motors are silent, there's almost no wind noise on highways, but there is a little bit of noticeable road noise from the tires. When the N E-Shift is activated and the N Active Sound Plus is enabled, the car sounds very similar to the Hyundai Elantra N. It's not a perfect replication, but rather a synthesized version of the same crackles, pops, and bangs at higher RPMs. The Ioniq 5N also has a speaker on the outside of the car which plays these sounds. However, it is very, very quiet, almost impossible to hear on the move. The other two active sounds that can be selected are Evolution and Supersonic, which to me don't really sound anywhere near as good as a standard ignition sound. While on the outside the Ioniq 5N may look like a hot hatch, it's actually similar in size to a crossover SUV. As such, there is a lot of passenger space for both front and rear occupants. For my above average height of 6'4", there is ample space in the front. The bucket seats are height adjustable, so shorter individuals should have no problem seeing over the hood. In the back seats, the 5N has a completely flat floor with air vents located in the B-pillars. Space is great for taller individuals with plenty of leg space and headroom. However, if the front seat is at its lowest position, there is very little space for your feet under it. The backrests have a few different recline angles, and the seats can slide forwards or backwards. Behind the seats, the Hyundai Ioniq 5N has 740 liters of cargo space. With the rear seats folded, that number increases to 1,680 liters. There is a small storage compartment underneath the floor for the charging cable and a tire repair kit, but no spare wheel. Also, the Ioniq 5N does away with the small storage space underneath the hood. As is to be expected, the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N is expensive. It will cost you $78,199 Canadian, with the only options being the paint colors. This one is Performance Blue Matte, and it'll cost you $1,500 Canadian. The other one that I've previously driven is called Soultronic Orange, and it's a $250 option. For the price, the Ioniq 5N is a fully loaded car. It has heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, a heated steering wheel, dual-zone automatic climate controls, 8-speaker Bose audio system, built-in navigation, wireless phone charging, wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity, power liftgate, a head-up display, and plenty of USB charging ports throughout the car. One convenience feature that left me frustrated were the front rain-sensing wipers. For some reason, Hyundai can't get them to work properly, whether it's on this car or any other one of their cars. These wipers hardly ever wipe when it rains heavily, but they go at full speed when there's a light drizzle. Hyundai really should make an option in the infotainment system to change between rain sensing and regular intermittent wipers. And finally, this car looks the part of a hot hatch. It has a larger roof spoiler with the triangular third brake light that was first found on the Hyundai Veloster N. It has 21-inch wheels which look really good on this car. There are flared wheel arches with air vents. And finally, the front has a unique bumper design with active flaps for improved aerodynamics. So in the end, from the performance to the everyday usability, Hyundai has made a great EV that really is deserving of all of the accolades it received over the past year. It is an expensive vehicle, but you're getting a lot of car for the money. There's no other EV like it on sale that provides this much performance, everyday usability, and excitement that this Ioniq 5N delivers. If you'd like to know more about this 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N, I have a more detailed written review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner in the top right corner. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I see you in the next one.